Hi friends, Cyberpunk 2077 was released finally, and I've had a few people ask me about the game and ask me, is it worth buying Cyberpunk 2077? So I thought I'd take a day to get to know the game, and in this video I want to talk to you about whether you would like the game and also a bit about the story and some of the amazing possibilities in Cyberpunk 2077. Now don't worry for my Apex Legends fans, I'll be doing my normal Apex Legends stream and I'll also be doing my normal Apex Legends video on Sunday, so don't worry, plenty more Apex Legends content coming as well. Let's start with the question of, would you like the game and should you buy Cyberpunk 2077? Well, the answer is simple. If you like roleplay games and are looking for an epic, encompassing, massive world roleplay game, then yes, definitely buy Cyberpunk 2077. It might even be the best roleplay game you ever play in your lifetime. If you've ever played Watch Dogs or Grand Theft Auto or any of those kind of games and you really enjoyed them, then I really think you'd really enjoy Cyberpunk 2077. Oh yeah, and Keanu Reeves plays a huge role in the story. I mean, how can you not like a game with Keanu Reeves in it? I would say if you are a pure Battle Royale fan and you only like first-person shooters, you only like Apex Legends, Fortnite, Warzone, Call of Duty, and you don't really like story-based games, then to be honest, you might not like Cyberpunk 2077. It's definitely a story-based game with an amazing RPG base to it, but it's not really the kind of Battle Royale game that you get with Apex Legends. So if you only like that kind of game, then I'd say do save your money and maybe don't get Cyberpunk 2077. But have a watch of this video, listen to a bit more about the story and some of the possibilities that I share, and maybe, just maybe, you'll convince yourself to give it a try. I'll also be honest and say there are a few bugs with Cyberpunk 2077. It's very early on in its release, it's just come out yesterday, and I'm pretty sure these bugs will get fixed. Most of them in reality are just funny, and they're not quite as annoying as bugs in other games, but I have seen if you're on an older console, like the original PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, or even just a lower spec PC, then you might struggle a little bit with the mechanics and the graphics in Cyberpunk 2077. I do really feel like it's a game that's been built for quality, and it really needs a high-level PC or a next-gen console to be able to play it to its fullest possibilities. But at the same time, I guess the solution if you're on a lower spec PC or one of the older consoles, the current gen consoles, then your solution is really just to lower the specs of the game. So reduce the graphics, reduce the effects in the settings of the game. So if you're still not sure, let me share a bit about the underlying story of Cyberpunk 2077 and some of the amazing possibilities that you can achieve in Cyberpunk 2077. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Come join my community and help us reach the 10,000 subs goal together. Back to Cyberpunk 2077. So, it takes place in a futuristic night city, which is set in America, and it's set in the time of 2077, where cyberware and modifications have become the norm. You play this mysterious V character, and you've got a choice of different backstories. You can choose to be a nomad, a street kid, or a corpo. Each choice will give you a unique backstory with specific options in conversations throughout the game. The core story will always be the same though, whichever you pick, so don't worry, you won't miss out on anything per se, but it does give you an incentive to try different playthroughs of the game, and it also gives you a chance to enjoy different backstories. You can also relate it to the kind of person you are. If you're a bit more of a solo lone ranger, Nomad is for you. If you're a bit more of a street gang type person, then Street Kids is for you. And if you're a bit more of a corporate, all about the money type person, then Corpo is probably for you. Now the core story revolves around you playing this character of V, and you're finding your way through life in Night City. But as you find your way through life in Night City, your story becomes intertwined with the story of Johnny Silverhand, played by none other than Keanu Reeves. And this is where the story gets really interesting, and it really starts to unfold, and your journey becomes one of yourself as V, and one of Johnny Silverhand as well. And this story really develops based on what you do in the game. The decisions you make in the game really can affect the outcome of the story. I understand there are at least 6 different possible endings that we currently know of. There might even be more, and each of these endings depend on the decisions you make throughout the game, not just in terms of conversations, but even in terms of actions you take in gameplay, decisions to speak to people or not to speak to people, missions you choose to complete. all of this can contribute to the type of ending that you get, and that makes this game even more exciting and even more interesting. Let's also talk about the gameplay possibilities, because they're near endless. You essentially get to choose how you complete missions and what missions you complete. You can choose to go in guns blazing, or try and be full stealth without firing a single shot. There are different possibilities, different routes, different ways of completing missions, and that again makes it so exciting. And I would also say they've managed to do it in a slightly different, more exciting, fun way compared to what we've seen before. Yes, it does have elements of what we've seen. I'm thinking about Watch Dogs, Grand Theft Auto. It's got elements of those games, but they've still managed to bring a new feeling to how it's done. I would also say character building is very important. You get to choose how you build your character. So you get to choose the modifications you make, you get to choose the attribute and the skill points, and all of these will shape your character build, and that in turn shapes your playstyle. So depending on the kind of person you are, you can shape your character to essentially be a representation of your mind, how you play, your playstyle. All of that can fit into this character that you create. And there really is an opportunity to have such unique characters throughout this game. And one of the best things about this game is you really can have a completely unique experience in the same game. Even if you watch other people play the game, you can still jump into this game and create a completely unique experience for yourself, and you won't feel like you've already seen the whole playthrough of this game. So in summary, I would say this game has one of the richest and most captivating stories I've ever played. I will be honest in saying I haven't really played an RPG for a while. I think the original Watch Dogs was the last RPG I played, but I'm really glad I bought Cyberpunk 2077. I haven't completed the game yet, and I really look forward to continuing my development of my character and continuing the story. Don't worry, I will plan on releasing more Cyberpunk 2077 content for you. I plan on doing some tutorials on some of the complex stuff that I've found in the game. It can be quite a complex game to start with. There's lots of things going on, so just try not to get overawed with everything that's going on. Just try and take it step by step, and take it slowly. Don't rush it. This is definitely a game where you can put some time into and really enjoy it. So like I said, I'll create some more tutorials for you and more tips, much like I do for Apex, to share my learnings with you and hopefully help you on your journey in Cyberpunk 2077. Don't forget to like and subscribe, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.